Ni
Again,
hao.
ni hao again from Taiwan. We want to say welcome. Thanks for joining Travel with Mark and Maria as we provide some of our observations about some of the things we see and how we can effectively do them. Enjoy ourselves while we are on our long journey, long stay here, if you will. Not necessarily short term like vacationers do. And so today's observation may be a topic that not a lot of people like to hear about. However, it's public restrooms. Public restrooms. You know, the convenience of them, the cleanliness of them, the different types in comparison to what you're used to back home. You know, what a Westerner would consider the standard. Um, However, that varies from place to place. You know, and what we see here, what we've seen in Asia thus far is there's about two types. There's the seated, and then there's the squatting um, toilets. And a lot of us are not accustomed to squatting. I know when I lived in Korea and some places in Japan and recently in Thailand, as we traveled around, we encountered a lot of squatting, and you know, with bad knees, that's a little difficult. We're just not accustomed to it. Uh, what are some of your?
This is gonna be a good topic. So if you guys are eating right now, please pause this one and go ahead and go do your food and all that, and come back later.
All right. So in all the countries we've been to thus far, to include this one, what is your observation and what are your likes and what are your dislikes thus far?
Okay, so let's start with the good ones. So in Japan, Thailand, even here in Taiwan, even in Hong Kong, there are places that are high end. When I say high end, the airport,
Malls.
the malls, the high end malls and all that, where they have toilets that have heated seats, that you just want to just sit there and don't want to leave, you know, especially if it's cold outside. So it's heated and it has the bidet, and then it gives you all of that, and it even have a toilet paper, and you're like, of course they have a toilet paper, right? What is she talking about?
Right.
Wait a minute. So those are the good toilets. It has the toilets, the toilet seats, the toilet bidets, the toilet
But what
papers.
kind of bidet? The bidet that's built into the toilet, or the hose that sits along?
No, this is the one that's heated. This is the one. This is the good one. This is the 5 stars of all the bidets. So that's the good one. Then you have the 2 stars or the 1 star, which is now there's no toilet paper, but it has a bidet. So it has a hose that's hanging by the side of the move a little bit. It has a hose by the side, and so you have to pull the hose. But now, unfortunately, in your mind, you thought there's supposed to be a paper towels. So even if you did number 1 or number 2, if you're a lady, if you're a woman, you need a toilet paper. So there's no toilet paper. If you need a number 1, you could probably get away without toilet paper. But you did number 2, now you have a problem. So the bidet now is just a hose, and you pick up the hose and you use it. So now the problem is, how do you dry? So I was like, yes, I am Filipino, I'm Asian, and no, we didn't have that in the Philippines. Wait.
Well,
So
you have the tabo
Yes,
The
we have the tabo.
uh,
But wait, that's not even 1 star. This is 1 star. You have a hose. So we have that. So as I said, i- it's up to you how you dry yourself. You just pull your underwear and you just pat yourself.
okay, I just want to put a quick disclaimer. And the disclaimer is not because something is different, what you're not accustomed to, doesn't mean it's wrong,
No,
right?
it's not
It's
wrong.
just different. Everyone has different ways of doing things. Their viewpoints are different from ours, but that does not mean it is wrong. Okay, we just culturally are not accustomed to some things, and we're trying to gain an appreciation for why some things are done the way they're done. And maybe for convenience, what have you. The reasons are varied. However, different does not mean wrong, right? So we're just making observations based on the things we're accustomed to, and trying to find an appreciation for things that we're not. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Mm.
So as I said, that is 1 or 2 star.
Mm.
So now I'm from the Philippines, so we have a tabo. Tabo means is a like
A little bowl with a
a
handle.
little bowl with a handle, and so you pee or you do number 2, and then you pick up the water and you wash yourself. So now, depending on, usually you pretty much have to take your clothes off or you're gonna get wet. You know, if you don't know how to do it, it need practice to do this without getting wet. And then again, after you do that, you wash your hands, of course, because guess what? You use your hands to do those things, to do that, to wash everything. But hey, at the end of the day, you're clean.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, we didn't have problem when there was COVID that we don't run out of toilet paper. We did not run out of toilet paper because we didn't need toilet paper.
All you need is a bidet.
All we needed is a bidet, or all we needed
tabo.
was a tabo and our water.
Right.
So, and it's sanitary because it's clean. But that's that. Then you have the other type of seat, like he's saying, is the squatting one. So, the very first time we got to Japan, I didn't know that when you squat and that you're supposed to face the wall instead of facing the door. So I didn't know that. So I was facing the door, and to flush the toilet, I was like this. So they told me that no, I was doing it wrong. You're supposed to face the wall. Right. So that's another thing you have to do.
But now,
same thing in Japan. No toilet paper.
As an older person, with having had knee surgery and other things, that because we haven't grown up accustomed to doing
squatting,
to squatting, that becomes very painful.
Yes.
And that's one of the part I hate. Trying to stay balanced, it just really hurts my knees. Now my understanding is that the squatting position allows easier vacation of the body, of the bowels, right? Because it's more direct. But again, I have not grown up on that. Yes, I used to use an outhouse at times when I was in Jamaica. But coming here and again trying to get used to, we may be in our room where there's a heated toilet, then I go out to the public toilets, because when you have to go, you have to go. It's kind of love-hate relationship. And Philippines, don't take offense. When I go to the malls, I think you all have a hate relationship for latrines or bathrooms. is that I can never find a toilet seat.
Yes.
Right? Somebody has removed the toilet seat.
Yes.
So there's just a porcelain bowl, right?
I don't know why.
So I find myself now doing the squat, as in not to sit on that seat. I am doing the squat. So we might as well just go straight to a squatting toilet. It's just so funny. But the other hate that I have for public restrooms, and this is everywhere, since we have come into these things, phones, right, that we can now take it everywhere with us. We don't have the long cord we have to drag around. We now have these things. The public restrooms have become inconvenient because they are now telephone booths, right?
On the good one, on the good.
And mindful that someone else is waiting, right, and may be in a rush, may have an emergency, and so do your business and get out. Don't sit there on your phone, trying to catch up on today's news, the latest hurricane or whatever you're doing in there. Get out of there, right? Don't turn public restrooms into telephone booths. But the types that you see here in Asia, and again, it's versus what we are accustomed to a lot of time, in the public setting, not necessarily hotels or apartments, but in the public setting, may not be what you're accustomed to. But sometimes we just have to learn how to, like Maria pointed out, how to properly use them, and try
your own toilet paper.
try to, if you have knee problems and those things, some locations have grab rails that you can hold on to, but
and there's a handicap.
It's just something to think about when you have to do number one and number two. Where do you go? How do you use those type of systems? But based on the location, if it's a more, like a mall or something, like when we were in Thailand at one of the malls there, Icon Siam. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
That place was, yes, it was 5-star. When you went in there, you want to take pictures for the view. It was just unbelievable. And then when we went to the,
yes, I'm gonna show you guys that.
Yeah.
That's those are the best bathroom.
To the location for the
lights.
Yes.
Yeah, in Pattaya.
Yeah. And we'll post a few pictures.
We'll post that.
We'll put a few pictures on this video.
Yes.
For you to see.
The women bathroom. We were all taking video. All of the women there were taking video.
Right. They were making sure that they were kept everyone in the top.
Yes.
Just looking at the architecture and
it was beautiful.
And the level of sophistication and technology that has made its way into these bathrooms. And I guess no one want to say a bathroom is inviting. A toilet, public restroom is inviting, but it's an inviting space that it made it much easier to do your business. But don't stay too long. Try to leave. I know this.
I have to say something. And this one, it always gets me when I go home to the Philippines, and I always have to remind myself that this is the culture, and it's not really that it's bad or it's wrong. It's the custom, and it's the way of life. It's just
well, we're gonna have a more full discussion on etiquette, some queuing, how they queue or form lines to wait one's turn, some cultural practices, if you will, that doesn't align with what we see as being considerate, and it's just some things we just can't take offense to at times because it's not intended to offend. We're just not accustomed to it. So, but that's going to be a total different discussion as we kind of highlight some of the things that you just have to come with an open mind and try to understand that it's those etiquette things that you're accustomed are just different.
It's not to offend you or anything. It's just different, because I'm quite sure that there's a lot of things in America that we do that's annoys people's country, culture, other people, but it's different.
We want to say thank you very much for joining in and
for this very good topic.
This insightful,
is it one or two
conversation,
or would it be three?
Or would it be three? for joining Travel with Mark and Maria. Again, we're on Facebook, Instagram,
Tell us what topic would you guys like
and
us to
YouTube.
do?
And again, we have a few more topics that's scheduled that we're gonna speak on, and traveling, modes of transportation that we use to go between countries and while we're in the country, and some of the things that we see beneficial, costs that equate to cost savings, but sometimes not necessarily comfort. So we'll see you on the next episode. And again, thank you for traveling with Mark and Maria.